FM. Hey, good morning. Glad you're here today. I got 75 now in Sebring. We'll be up above 90 today, but the humidity will feel lower. Won't be half bad. It's 8:40 now. Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation. And the legal beagle stuff means it's time to double check and see what's going on with your money today with the help of Philip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring. Philip, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Dave. How you doing? Well, today it was nice to see a significant amount of green yesterday.
Yeah, we had a couple of new records, as a matter of fact. The Dow was off by 0.14%. I've got a friend who watches the Dow as being the indication of the market, and he's going to say it was a down day. S&P 500 up over 0.5% to a new closing record. NASDAQ up by 1.2% to a new record, and the Russell 2000 was just barely removed from flat, but still they ended up in the green as well. So on balance, it was a pretty darn good day on the market, wasn't it?
It really was, Dave. It was good to see able to put that back together and get some green ink. And this morning, I got to tell you, it looks like green ink across the board. Even the Dow's up, bouncing back this morning. So that's kind of some good news there.
And I'm really not sure why. I mean, there's nothing really good going on in the Persian Gulf. The BRICS unaligned nation group had kind of a breakdown because Iran's part of that, so they had a bad day. That maybe something bad happens to our enemy means good news. But other than the fact that oil has kind of drifted downward a little bit this morning, it looks like things are pretty much as is. I mean, we're throwing rocks at ships trying to get through the Straits of Hormuz. If they're Iranian, we're throwing the rocks. If they're not Iranian, they're throwing rocks. I don't really know why everybody's so happy this morning. Do you?
I don't. I can tell you that the Dow is because of Cisco.
Okay. Yeah, I heard they've got a bunch.
That's what's
they got a bunch
causing
of
that one.
Yeah, they announced a whole bunch of layoffs so they could afford more artificial intelligence. And I
Cisco
know their
was
shareholders.
up. I don't know. It was up 15% earlier this morning. Let's see where it is right now. It's
Wow.
up. Well, they don't want to go there. Not sure where they were. My computer doesn't want to cooperate.
Artificial intelligence is interfering with you there. That's got to be the. But by and large, it was a pretty doggone good day without any grandiose reasons. Maybe it's that level of assurance we get when we know who's in charge, because the Senate did confirm Kevin Warsh as the new chairman of the Federal Reserve, and you and I were kind of giggling about what's going to happen when he takes over, because he hasn't promised President Trump anything. But he's always been rather vocal about the utility of an interest rate cut. One more Federal Reserve governor hit the rubber chicken circuit yesterday. Susan Collins from the Boston Fed says she sees a possible to probable rate hike. And with the inflation numbers we had earlier this week, the odds of a rate hike way outrank the possibility of a rate reduction. I can't wait to hear the tweets coming out of the White House after Kevin Warsh's first meeting. How about you?
Yeah, it probably will not be pleasantries.
At the very least. That's about the only thing that really changed of any grandiose value yesterday. So we're kind of sort of into tidbits after the data dump for the morning. First-time jobless claims, the usual stuff that comes out on Thursday. 211,000 new first-time unemployment claims. That's up a little bit from the 200 we had last week, but still down into the inordinately low level. Continuing claims, pretty much steady. People are hanging on to jobs. We aren't increasing the number having trouble finding jobs, so the employment market is remarkably stable. Retail sales, after kind of a barn burner month last month, up 0.5%, and you're saying that's close to expectations, you said?
That was as expected. The U.S. retail sales were expected to be up 0.5%, and they came in exactly at 0.5%. There was a slight miss, though, on retail sales when you take out the autos.
Hmm.
Expectation was for it to be up 0.8. It was only up 0.7. So a slight miss there. I guess a few more auto sales than expected.
Okay, so we're in not bad shape so far, basically performing similarly to have expected. Apple is going crazy. They hit another record close as the tech stocks rebounded. You mentioned Cisco earlier. I know Micron is also going through the roof again as their bulls are happily buying everything that isn't nailed down. You mentioned Alibaba missed badly yesterday. I read their stock kind of went up anyway. I was flippantly saying the Chinese government issued a buy order. It must have happened that way, huh?
Must have. Must have.
No, no reason, but they went up. Oh, okay, the government said go for it. Not a lot of stock reports out of great value this morning, but everybody loves their Yeti coolers and their Yeti mugs. Did we manage to sell any of those last quarter?
So Yeti came out and reported, and this is their first quarterly beat on top and bottom line.
Ooh,
They came in at 26 cents a share. That was better than the 18 expected. Revenue was 380 million versus 374 million expected. So that was some good news there. They're up 8.2% this morning.
I don't think there's a soul alive that doesn't know how good those mugs are in the process, and there's a lot of knockoffs that are almost as good. But boy, when you see a real Yeti, you know somebody's got ice that's going to last 10 hours, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna hang around there. Hey, we talked about Cisco Systems, and their earnings did come out as well.
Ooh,
They did obviously very well there, and they put in their adjusted earnings seemed to be kind of where they expected those to be as well. So it was nice to see them come through like that. I was trying to see who else is in here that is a popular name. Um, Not much. We had Biogen, the biopharmaceutical company.
hmm.
Um, they had no earnings, but physical. They had a Alzheimer's drug that advanced into phase 3 trials, um, and so that's helping their stock this morning up about 2.6%.
All right. A little bit of gossip coming out of clinical testing can do wonders for a pharmaceutical stock, can't it?
It absolutely can.
The only other thing that we're really watching down the line today is going to be the visit into China with President Trump. Probably the good news that came out of it so far, because they haven't agreed to anything, and kind of a surprise if they did agree on anything, was he did invite President Xi to a summit up here in the United States, which might have provided a little bit of the optimism. Peace in the Valley internationally never hurts stock markets, does it?
It does not, I mean, we already have unpeaceful events on the other side, so it'd be nice to have peaceful on at least one front.
Yeah, nobody wants to be throwing rocks back and forth across both oceans. Resetting the table for the morning, update for the broader market indexes yesterday, a little bit off for the blue chips. 45 minutes before we open this morning, what have we got for good news so far?
Blue chips in the Dow 30 going to rebound this morning, Dave, up over 0.8%, $420. The S&P 500 is up 1/3% or $23, and the Nasdaq 100 is up between 1/10 and 2/10. That's $46. So everything's got a green tint to it here this morning on that side. On the other side, there's more red ink though. Silver down 2.6%. Gold's flat right now, and crude oil is down 1/3%, Dave. I'm still not below 100 though. $100.64 a barrel.
Oh, shucks. Those are my delayed quotes coming home to roost in the process. I had $99.84, which is still about 100 anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Rounding upward. Going across the ponds, it was not a good day on the Asian Rim. Mainland Chinese markets closed the early morning hours off well over 1.5%. Everything else was in red ink as well over there. Over in the European community, they had a little bit of a recovery after a couple of off days. Average European index halfway through their trading day over there, up by between 6 and 7 tenths of a percent across the European community, and I don't see any negative in Europe right now at all. Somebody want to get a picture as to how to make a retirement actually happen and on schedule and with enough money to be able to live comfortably. That takes a pair of eyes that I don't have. I need yours. How do I find you to get my retirement ready?
Then give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule a 30-minute phone call. We'll walk through where they are, where they're trying to get to, and see if they are on the right path to get there. Would love to have that conversation with folks that are getting close to that retirement age. And then catch the Statler Financial Radio Show this weekend, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
And, of course, online at newstalk730am.com. Have a pleasant day, my friend. We'll catch you shortly, all right?
All right, buddy. You too.
Be well. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Philip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, thank you for joining us today. I'll be out tomorrow, but look forward to speaking to you next Tuesday. Until then, have a great day. Bye now.